Welcome to Like Pigs in Space, an arts and culture podcast. I'm Aaron Mason.
And I'm Max Mason.
And another week of fun stuff, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And how was your week?
It was good. I mean, it was okay. I was helping out in a battleground this week.
Yeah.
And it was really annoying because I feel like they lured me there under false pretenses. And but we'll see. I mean, it was mostly a fine week, and I think Battleground always kind of gets this rep for having a lot of customers and really difficult customers, but like it was like super easy, and I didn't have any problems. And they were warning all the other tellers, like, you know, Max is here to do the most work, so don't let people just walk up over to you. And it was never even a problem because I'm friendly. And as soon as people walk in, I'm like, hi. And I wave them over.
Hi.
Yeah.
You did the Linda Belcher.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
So
but it was fine. And I went to the food truck and got a bad burrito. And
Oh, okay. So it was Battleground's fault.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which they have one burrito food truck there that is pretty good. But I went to a new one that was a little out of town. Like I see it on my way in because there's that big stretch of highway getting into town. And I was like, you know, I'll give it a try. And it was a huge burrito, and they had pretty good salsa. That wasn't bad. But eating the actual burrito just felt like eating nothing.
Oh no.
All the flavors just like canceled each other out.
Oh no. What was it?
Like in the burrito?
Yeah.
It was like rice and beans and lettuce and salsa and sour cream. There might have been guacamole in it, but I don't remember. And then the chicken.
Yeah.
But just like all together tasted like nothing.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Oh.
We had the baby over and it was windy.
Oh. Yeah.
And so his eyes are
can't doesn't know what he's experiencing.
Right. And then he's not sure about his mother either.
Yeah.
So that was funny. Well, I'm sorry that you got sick from the burrito.
Yeah,
but
it's okay. We had burritos again that night at the place by us, and they were really good.
Where did we go? We went someplace this week. I'm trying to think where it was, what we did this week, because I can't remember. It was we've been doing a lot this week because we painted the kitchen.
Oh,
and then I did wallpaper. And we have very high ceilings.
Yeah.
And I don't have scaffolding. I just have ladders. And so getting up that high and getting close to the wall to put the wallpaper up made me grumpy and very, very tired.
Yeah.
But it was, that's what I did. I went and got another typewriter.
Oh, fun.
This one's Adler, which is West German. So it's a Adler J5, I think. And so it's from like the 70s. And it's fun. It's got some fun features.
Last week we walked to the Powell's and stopped at this shop on the way, and they had a typewriter, but it's a Tom Thumb typewriter.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those ones are toy ones.
Kind of fun.
They're the one I've seen. I was looking at one of those, and it was really weird because they're just like kid toys.
Yeah, kind of look like it.
Yeah, and so they're kind of funny, janky typewriters.
Yeah,
but they're the one that I have one that Josie and Abe brought back from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
It's yellow, and I think it's German. It's like a Lilliput or something like that.
Okay.
And it's but you can tell it's a kid's one as well, probably about the quality level of the Tom Thumb. And so it's kind of janky, but kind of cool because it's bright yellow and
right
and fun. So, but very cool. Yeah, that's cool.
What's the wallpaper look like?
It's like a dark floral, kind of like you'd see in like a tapestry. It's got it's maybe like sort of Art Nouveau, natural, with all kinds of green leaves and stuff intertwined, and then some big white flowers. And then it's got a brownish background, and we did the cabinets in a chalk black paint with a flat. So and somehow they work together really well.
Nice.
So
is it actual chalk, like you can, like chalkboard, or
no? It's just called chalk paint.
Okay.
You can't. I don't know. Maybe you could, but no, we sealed it up. So
okay.
It's not chalkboard paint. It's chalk paint, which means it dries and looks chalky.
Okay.
So
cool.
That's kind of what it is. But it's a style, and so they look kind of aged.
Nice.
But in a controlled way.
Cool.
So yeah, it's dramatic, and at least it's what we want and not what we are dealt. So
right.
So
awesome.
But that was fun. What else? Cool. What else you got going on? What do you want to chat about this week?
Well, I have a whole bunch of notes here on a thing. I guess this will be
away.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, now that I've written them, I probably don't have to look at them too much, but
okay,
it helps.
Yeah.
This will be our last episode before a roundup.
Yeah.
So this
has seemed like a lot longer period of time.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a lot has happened. So.
I think so.
And we've recorded around the world.
Yeah.
So it should be an interesting roundup next week.
I think so.
Yeah.
Should be fun. But yeah, I think the first thing, this is not the main thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think it is something good to keep in mind as talk about the actual thing.
Okay.
But it is the hymn "Come Thou Fount."
Yeah. Okay.
I know that this was played at your dad's funeral, but is there anything else you kind of associate with the song, or?
Well, only because your mom gave a talk on it one time.
Oh, okay.
Too, because it says it uses the term Ebenezer.
Mm-hmm.
And so she did a whole thing about what that really means and what an Ebenezer is. And I think it's a neat concept. It's like, so, and then I know there's some more stuff related to it, but I don't really have it recall right now.
Yeah. I always think like it, in one of the verses, it uses the word fetter. And every time I hear that, it's like, it's the only other place I've heard it is this song. So I feel like it's always, anytime someone uses the word fetter, it's it's kind of a reference to this. But yeah, so it was written by Robert Robinson, who was like a preacher in in 1758 when he was 22.
Okay.
And he kind of had a like tumultuous, delinquent childhood and was able to like convert to being a Baptist preacher and wrote this song. But later in life did kind of wander away from the church until, I guess there's a really famous story of him on like a bus or a carriage ride, and it was just him and this one other woman, and she was singing the melody to the song and didn't know who he was. And she was like, this is just a really great song because brings me a lot of comfort. And it's like, have you heard this song? And he's like, it's like, yeah, I'm the poor sap who wrote it. But because of that experience, like it did help him find his way back to religion. I saw some things that he was also like pretty like unorthodox a little bit, like not bad, but just like he didn't have the same background as a lot of other preachers at the time. So his approaches to things were pretty unique for the time.
That's cool. I like that.
But yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to it.
I think it's got it's a pretty good tune.
Yeah.
So yeah, it says like that means Ebenezer means stone of help. And so that's kind of a neat concept too.
Yeah.
So Ebenezer Scrooge is kind of funny that he's called Ebenezer because he becomes a firm help, but he isn't in the beginning.
Right.
And I wonder, that'd be an interesting thing. I wonder if Charles Dickens knew about the writer of this hymn when because that's a similar path.
Yeah.
Fell away to a horrible person, then came back to be a good person. And they would have been contemporary almost. So
right.
Who knows?
Maybe.
That'd be an interesting connection if it was there.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I think that's just something good to have in mind.
Okay.
As I go to the next point, which is talking about a concert I went to in Charleston. And I found the exact date because I wanted to see who had played because I couldn't remember the first person. I remembered the last two, but I couldn't remember the first person.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find it, but whatever. So it was November 8th of 2013.
Okay.
So we were in South Carolina at the time. And I was invited to go to a concert with Elaine and a few of her friends. And I remember on the way down there, she was driving, I was in the passenger, and I was like feeding her waffle fries.
Yeah. That doesn't sound out of character.
And the other thing is that it was like the most sick I've ever been.
Right. I think I kind of remember this one.
Yeah. And I told her, and it's like, I'm really sick and I don't want to get you guys sick. And she's like, no, it's okay. You can come along. So I did. And we got there, and so there's a band playing, and all I remember is they had these like really kind of loud, sludgy guitars and super, super long hair.
Okay.
And it wasn't like super metal or anything, but it was just very slow kind of music like that.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But the next band was the Front Bottoms that played.
Okay.
And I remember not liking them at all. I think the singer was either drunk or just sounded drunk.
Yeah.
But it was kind of interesting because recently, like in the last couple of years, they've really exploded and gotten super popular.
Yeah.
And some of the songs that are their most popular were played at that show, and it's like I didn't even realize. And some of them I do kind of like now, but at the time I was just like, this is weird because there was one song that starts with him being like, I had a dream I was beating my dad to death with a baseball bat, and halfway through it's not even about killing him, it's just about doing it.
Oh.
And it's like I don't know about that one.
Stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the headliner who we were there to see was Manchester Orchestra.
Okay.
Yeah. And so this is my first time seeing them, and we were very close to the stage, like maybe 10 or 15 feet away. And I was passing out because I was so sick. Just getting blasted with like the loudest music ever.
Yeah.
And I was struggling to stay awake because I was just so deathly sick. But it was a really good show. It was kind of between albums, so it wasn't really part of a tour or anything. It was just a couple of shows they were doing.
Yeah.
It was a good experience, and I remember on the way home we listened to like almost exclusively Daft Punk.
Oh, that's funny.
Because I think it was around the time Random Access Memories had come out.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I think 2013. And I remember Elaine saying that everybody loves Daft Punk, and if you don't, you're lying.
That's funny. Yeah, probably.
So I still believe that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about Manchester Orchestra. So they formed in 2004. They're from Georgia. And really like the main force behind the group was Andy Hull. He's like the main singer, guitarist. And they kind of fit into that like indie, alt rock, emo kind of scene.
Yeah.
And especially in their first album, which came out in 2006. It's super emo inspired and doesn't really have too distinct of a sound or anything.
Okay.
But there are a few standouts, a few things that like I think they were able to realize as their own unique sound and develop on later. One of those being the song Where Have You Been, which kind of almost sounds like an early Modest Mouse song.
Oh, cool.
It kind of reminds me of like Dramamine in a way.
Yeah.
And then the song Collie Strings, which is the last song on the album, I think it's very much their sound. And it makes sense too, because they still play these songs today.
Right.
And not a whole lot from that first album.
Right.
But yeah, their sound is pretty loud and aggressive and raw, but they also use a lot of synths, which is really cool. Their keyboard player at the time when I saw him was like, he's my favorite, because he'd have these keys there, but then he also had a kick drum and a crash cymbal. So like on the really loud parts, he would like double the drum in that way.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And when he wasn't singing like extra harmonies, he was like aggressively headbanging to the side. It was really cool. He was great. But the other thing is that their songs have always sounded really folksy to me.
Yeah.
Like they translate really well to like an acoustic sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think some of that could just be like being from the South and that kind of Southern influence, country being all around.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of storytelling, and that's also lends, there's I think more than some other groups, they have at least a lot of their songs are trying to convey a story rather than, which is different than just something poetic, which might convey different than a message. I guess that's the difference. Different than conveying a message, it's conveying a story, and that may be what lends it to the folksy side.
Yeah, but this is something that I wanted to try and give examples of, because it's a very, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but Manchester Orchestra and Phoebe Bridgers write very similar melodies and use very similar chord choices. So like being very familiar with both groups, I always think like these songs, they could trade these songs and no one would know. Like
that's cool.
Aside from like how, Manchester is a little more distorted, Phoebe Bridgers is more like acoustic sounding, and like their topics, their melodies and everything are very similar. And I think that the connection point is Elliott Smith.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because Phoebe is obviously a huge, very outspoken fan. But also Andy Hull has done a podcast episode talking about just one Elliott Smith song.
Oh, cool.
It's like a series of podcasts where they have a different artist talk about one Elliott Smith song.
Oh.
Like each episode.
Yeah.
So he is obviously an influence. And to the point where like Phoebe Bridgers did cover one of their songs.
Right.
And I think if she didn't say that it was a cover, no one would have noticed.
Yeah. That's funny.
Because it just sounds like something she would write.
Right. That's kind of like that one that 21 Pilots did of My Chemical Romance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was theirs all along.
Yeah.
So,
but what I want to talk about is their second album, which is called Mean Everything to Nothing.
Okay.
So this came out in 2009, and I think it is real where they really kind of established their own sound. I think what they were doing on this album kind of is not, I wouldn't say what they're still doing, but I think is where they, kind of, come into their own, you could say, or
yeah.
But and this is also kind of my first exposure to them. This is the first album of anything I've heard from them. But I just think there's a lot of really great musical choices in here for being, not that it's like metal or anything, but kind of heavier music. I think there's a lot of interesting choices, just good songwriting, good lyric writing. And it was also, it was written when Andy was 22. He's writing this and like recently married. And I think it reflects a lot on that kind of new relationship, and also a lot on his faith.
Okay.
So I think I'm just about ready to get started.
All right.
So it's 11 tracks. There is like a hidden track, but I didn't know there was a hidden track for a long time, and so like my feelings about the album were kind of established before learning it or hearing the hidden track. So I'm not going to really talk about it.
Okay.
But there is one, and I think it's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, so the first song is it's called The Only One, and it's a very upbeat opener. It's very fast. It has like a slide guitar opening chord. It's this like big kind of sound. And while I don't think there is like a central story, it's not like this is a concept album or anything like that.
Right.
I do think this song kind of introduces himself and his character. So when he's having these reflections going later on in the album, you kind of know where he's coming from with it. So like you get the first line where he's like, or one of the second lines where he's like, I'm the only son of a pastor who does the things I do. Or, I'm the only son of a pastor I know who does the things I do. And so it kind of talks about his upbringing in a church like that, being the son of a pastor, and also maybe some of his current views on people in the church. There's this one line where it's he says, I bet you did what you did when you did just to tell every friend that you have that the Lord did it.
Oh,
just using these like doing things so you could like maybe make yourself look good, but being like, oh, but it was the Lord, it was the Spirit.
Right.
So while not taking credit for doing the thing, maybe also taking credit for being like super spiritual.
Right.
But it's a very fun song. Like there's some like Beach Boys sounding oohs and harmonies and that are really fun for like still kind of a heavy song. Like when the whole band comes in, there's just like, it almost feels like there's a little bit of an explosion like deep down, because it's like really bassy for a second and then everything kind of tightens up. But yeah, it's a very fun, loud song. I think it gets you excited for the album, and then it goes to the next song, which is Shake It Out. The good thing about this album is there's not a lot of downtime between songs. Like they'll end and then the next one will start. Like sometimes there's a little bit of transition where like just some noise or like static between songs will be the same. But mostly it's just like very, very quick jumps to the next track.
Interesting.
So it makes it feel like they're all connected and all being performed very quickly. I think it's also, it feels like it's being performed at you because of how the drums are. Because like you can talk about how like the drums are mixed in like the stereo field. I think a lot of songs will mix it to where it feels like you're the drummer. So like your hi-hat sound is a little more on the left side. You have more crashes sound on the right side. But this way, in this album, it's kind of flipped, so it feels like you're facing the drummer.
Oh,
so more of the hi-hat sounds are on the left side, which would make sense if you were like looking at the drum set.
So maybe to put you in a position of being kind of as if it was live.
Yeah. And I think a lot of these songs were tracked live. Like it took a lot of takes, but I think they were all done. They were all a single take.
Oh, wow.
At some point. But yeah,
that's amazing.
I think in like how the only one gets you excited, I think Shake It Out is more like makes you feel pumped up because it's a little more intense. Like it's more minor. It's a little bit of a darker song.
Yeah.
But it has a really kind of simple riff, but it sounds super aggressive when it comes in. Like at the show we went to, it's what they started the set with, and it was great. It was super loud, and it just brings you right in. And
it's a song that explodes. That's for sure. Yeah. Cool.
I think that's also a great example. I mean, talking about drumming again, is how they write drum parts, or at least how the drummer did his drum parts, is that they're very sparse, and they use a lot of the kit. It's very like detailed and very, very interesting drumming. And there's some good examples later on where it's very simple drumming, but it sounds very heavy in a weird way. It's crazy how they do it. But yeah, I think this song is largely kind of about his conversion in a way, maybe.
Okay.
And some of his hesitance with it, like seeing great possibilities, but unsure if he really deserves them. I was reading something that he was like, when talking about the meaning of this song, he was like, I remember at shows, he's like, this one show, these dudes came up to us and he's like, oh man, I love the song Shake It Out. It's like about ripping beers, right? And he's just like, yeah, man, whatever you want.
That's weird. It's weird when people miss it completely.
Well, I think there's this kind of lyric that he uses a lot, but he does a lot of repetition really fast in his lyrics.
Okay.
So in this one, there's like I need another and another and another and another. Right. And he does that a few times in a few different songs. That maybe that's where they're getting the beers from.
Yeah, okay.
But I think it maybe gives more of a sense of like urgency, or maybe some like panic underlying, where he's like just revamping and revamping this thing, whatever it is at the time he's talking about. He's just kind of obsessing over it.
Gotcha. That's interesting though.
Yeah. But it has this huge bridge, and I think this he does really good bridges on this album. I like a lot of them. They're they give a lot of, it's not just like the same thing. They'll be something completely new for the bridge. That's really fun. But it's pretty quiet at first, and it has the lyric where I feel like he's kind of, again, dealing with that feeling of inadequacy, where he's like, I felt the Lord begin to peel off all my skin, and kind of revealing like the deeper troubles he has. And but it's a great part. Like it's got this like mixed meter in it, so it'll be like 3 bars of 4/4 and 1 of 3/4, and you don't even notice because it just feels right when you're sitting in it.
It's interesting because it's kind of like it's like like it's like a stutter when he's going through the repeated lyrics. It's like a it's like staccato or whatever, and it's really because it's that like you shake out real quick and then you pronounce each word, and it's kind of, I like how it steps like that, and I think that helps drive it even more.
And I think it shows that like the lyrics and the music aren't really separate too, because the instrumental is also accenting those words that he's accenting. And
and it's interesting when there's bands that, well, I talked about I was doing one song, I was supposed to sing a song and the music isn't the tune I'm singing, but this one, he is like, the vocals are another instrument that's playing the tune. Like it's it's almost like you could play the vocals as a keyboard or something, because it's the same tune going. So that's kind of, it's really combined with it. It's kind of, I think that gives it that punchiness to it.
But yeah, you get the bridge, and there's a little bit of like the instrumental going on, and it has these like a lot of like church bells and kind of choir vocals in it. and then you get the huge yelly outro doing the shake it out again, which ends with him screaming and kind of goes into like smooth transition as like these synths kind of bubble up into I've Got Friends.
Yeah, that's a crazy transition, because it's like it's almost like there was a explosion happening,
mm-hmm.
and then it passed you by.
Yeah,
and then you've got and then it's kind of like this very loud train passed you by.
That makes me totally off of any of this, but that like passing by sound like feeling, it reminds me of a clipping song where it's just like crazy sound design where it sounds like he's kind of out in the middle of the desert. There's like dogs barking and stuff, and he's doing this rap first, but as cars pass by, they're playing the instrumental that he's rapping on top of.
Oh wow.
So it'll like kind of fade in, like it'll do the instrumental and then fade out, but he's staying on beat with the car as it passes by. It's a crazy song, but it's so cool.
So he's like singing the Doppler effect.
Yeah, or like he's like a cappella out in
some ways
in the desert, but then as a car comes by, it's like, that's what he's singing along to, and then it's a cappella again, and
that's so. You'll have to send me the name of that one.
Yeah,
because I need to hear that.
Let me see it. I can find it.
But
so it's "Run for Your Life."
I'll save that there so I can go back to it.
Cool. But yeah, so transition into I've Got Friends. It's pretty much what it's about. What it sounds like it's about. I mean, it is about friends, but I think it's about like unreciprocated friendship. Him doing a lot, being there for friends, but his friends wanting something better, wanting like a cooler friend, maybe.
Yeah.
Because you get the chorus lyric, which is like, I've got friends in all the right places. I know what they want, and I know they don't want me to stay.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
What is the other song? Because this always I think I'm going to hear one song, and it's always this song. There's a Garth Brooks song, right? That's Friends in Low Places.
Oh yeah.
And I always think, and so this is I've Got Friends in all the right places. And then I always think that he's kind of playing off of this, that it's kind of a twist of this song.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because this one's like I've got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away, and I'll be okay. And he says, I'll slip on down to the oasis where I've got friends in low places. But this one says, I've got friends in all the right places. I know what they want. They don't want me to stay. It's like, they're in the right place and they don't want me there. But this guy is coming down to their level, and so he just slips down into the bar.
Yeah.
Like it's like almost like, it's almost like a counter. I'm doing something different, and they don't want me there.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's why it just keeps mixing in my head when I hear it. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I think this is the first song I ever heard by them too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think it was after the first EFY I went to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we were out in Georgia, and there was a guy there that we met who also was doing music, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm working on an album, and the drummer from Manchester Orchestra is going to help me record it, and I don't even know if that ever happened. Maybe it was just like a braggy thing, but I was like, okay, what's Manchester Orchestra?
Yeah.
And Elaine happened to have a couple of songs of theirs on her like iPod or something, so we listened to that on the way home. And it's a crazy song because it starts very kind of fun and mystical sounding, but in the second verse there's like these intense screams in the background that kind of go up and down until like the whole band re-enters, and kind of a crazy thing. It's also it's one of the few songs I know that uses sleigh bells. It doesn't sound like a Christmas song.
Yeah. Which
is impressive. it kind of just presents that chorus line in a couple of different contexts. Like there's one that is more like syncopated a little bit more. There's a part where it's more driving when they're doing the chorus. There's one where it has kind of like a marching snare as they're doing the chorus. It repeats the chorus a lot in this song. But it's a fun chorus and a fun melody, and it's a bop. It was the first single for the album, and I think it still remains like one of their most popular songs.
That's cool. It's hard to pick between this and Shake It Out.
Yeah,
it's like
they're great first couple songs.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so again, very very little downtime between I've Got Friends and the next song, which is Pride. And I feel like this is one of the heaviest songs on the album because it's a pretty simple, kind of like a bluesy lick as the main thing.
Yeah.
But the way it's just presented, it's so good. So I think it can kind of read as about addiction or something. Even though I'm not sure if that was something Andy was really struggling with, maybe in other ways, but he was in some of these other songs, he kind of says that he wasn't like a drinker partier type or anything. So he wasn't dealing with like drug use or anything. So it could be about that and like the pride of not wanting to admit that you need help.
Right.
Right. And maybe even thinking that only like divine intervention will help. Because there's a lyric where it's after all, it's me and the king and the beast.
Right.
Dealing with this pride.
Yeah, that's wild. It does say stuff about, it says this, what a cheap trick, what a habit I think I'm dying for.
Mm-hmm.
After the whole lion thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it has that, when it gets to, there's not really like a chorus in this song, but that main riff that it plays kind of acts as the chorus. But when it gets to that, this is the other thing, like super heavy drums, but all that it's doing is like it's snare, tom, kick, tambourine. Like very slowly, like snare, tom, kick, tambourine, snare. And like that's it for the drums. And it's like it's so intense for like it's the most intense tambourine I can think of.
Yeah. I'm the most intense tambourine player you've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, and so that bridge where I was saying like the what a cheap trick would have it, all that is again kind of a different bridge. It's a different melody. But as it builds, it gets these like more intense, everything building up to this like outro bit. It's a really fun instrumental because it adds like more like chukka chukka sounds as it loops around. So it plays the chords and it's like chukka ba ba, and then it just kind of adds more of those chukkas as it goes each loop around. It's really fun.
Yeah. Cool.
And it's like such a simple thing to add a little bit of interest is just like add, leave a bit more space in between each loop. And
yeah.
But yeah, you get a kind of reprise of that original riff, only it's way bigger. The drums are way more intense. And then you kind of get to sit in the noise and the distortion for a little bit until the next track. And this is one of the examples where like that noise does feed into the next track for just a second. But not even then, not very long. So we get into the next song, which is In My Teeth. This one to me kind of sounds like being a youth in like a youth group, like Wednesday evening kind of group.
Yeah.
And how you kind of clean up your act when you go to youth group or church to make it seem that you're better than you actually are.
Yeah.
The intro kind of reminds me of Drain You too by Nirvana.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It sounds pretty similar. It's different, it's unique enough, but it kind of has that same vibe to it.
Yeah.
Big or open chords. Has a pretty weird first line. Still not quite sure what he means. So it's I felt a black man in my teeth.
That's
the most I could think of is maybe is talking about like communion, and like the black man is the body of Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, because it says, "What a way Jesus coming to ask my age, and he always looks the same." I said, "A good seed was on your break, wasn't a mistake." That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, well, Jesus coming back to your age. Um, huh.
Yeah. Not still not quite sure what he means by that, but I think the rest of it makes sense once you get past that line.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah. But it's a fun song. It's very upbeat. I think it is maybe a bit of a mood lifter because of how beat down you feel after Pride.
Right.
And I also really love how the synth and the lead guitar work together. Like the lead melody is always kind of the same, but the way the synth interacts with it each time is a little different, and is just a really fun use of it. But it's a good song. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because I thought I'd listened to this album before, and I think I only listened to the main songs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting ones in the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the next song is really kind of a unique one. $100. So before talking about this, I want to talk about a different act or group. I think it's just one guy, but it's Coma Cinema.
Okay.
Who he is from Spartanburg in South Carolina.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I went to a show with Elaine in this like little room that was a few doors down from the New Brooklyn Tavern.
Oh yeah.
Where we did shows.
Yeah.
And supposedly this was supposed to be his like final show. Like he wasn't gonna tour anymore. I think he's still active. Maybe found a way to get back into it, but that was kind of the thing at the time. And it was a very small room. It just looked like someone's living room that they set up a bunch of chairs in.
That's funny.
But there's two things that I really remember about it. It's the first thing is when he did his sound check. He wouldn't go like check 1 2 3. He would just go up to the microphone and be like, "Hoo, hoo," like make owl sounds.
Weird.
And the other thing was this balance that he had on his guitar, where it was super soft and super clean if he was playing softly, but if he struck it hard enough, it'd get really distorted. And it's this
interesting.
It's this hard balance to find. Like I've tried to do it a few times, and it takes a lot of finessing on like the volume and the distortion. Where like I think there was distortion on it, but he just wasn't plucking loud enough for it to like activate.
Right.
But it was really unique. But that's also what this song has. It's like super, super, super quiet. Very like single guitar note picked as he's doing the verses. And it's about this like first time with his wife or girlfriend at the time, not quite sure, like meeting up with his parents, and then his dad giving him like $100 for them to go do something fun, which he was talking about. He's like, it's a very cool dad move of him.
Yeah.
But on the way from the house to the car, he lost the $100 and started like freaking out. And he's like I just have this like weird part of me where I shut down if I lose something and can't interact with anybody. And this is like the first time his wife had really witnessed that side of him.
Oh, wow.
But as it gets to that part in the chorus where he's like, I'm fine, I just need $100. That's where he's like starts strumming really loudly and gets really distorted.
Yeah.
And you get that repetition again. It's like from you and you and you and you.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But it's a sweet, soft little song.
I don't know about sweet. It's a kind of it leaves you in desperation because it's painful.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of pain in it. That's interesting. I like it.
I think also it's also a nice one. I think his wife sings harmonies on it, which is a nice little touch.
I think that this one might be a little bit more painful for me because there was a time when we were younger,
mm-hmm.
and it happened a couple times, but your mom went to buy groceries or something, and all we had was cash. And then when she left, a big chunk of the cash got dropped or lost, and
yeah,
and we were going looking, and it's like it may have been like maybe like $60 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or it may even $40, but it was a big deal
right
at the time.
yeah
And just like how that kind of ruined our day in some ways. I'm like, and now it's like $40 is whatever.
Yeah.
It's not the same, but that was a lot at that point in our lives.
Right.
And so
like
I
think it kind of, I don't know if we've ever lost money, but that feeling of like, this shouldn't be that much money, but it feels like a lot of money to us, and losing it would be devastating.
Yeah, and you start over checking that you have stuff.
Yeah,
and so a lot of that emotion is tied up in this song, so it's always hits a chord when I hear it.
Yeah,
not to be,
no, it's good,
but it always kind of brings something home.
Yeah,
when I hear it.
Yeah,
so
going to the next song. And this is the one that made me a little hesitant to talk about this album because of your interpretation of the song.
Interpretation.
I can feel a hot one.
Yeah. It's not my interpretation. It's somebody else's that told me that that's what it was about. And then you can't hear it any other way.
Yeah. So the interpretation is that it's about taking a dump on a tour bus.
Yeah.
Which does fit really well.
Yeah, at least the first part.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so funny because that guy knew, like, it's the guy I ran into when we went and saw Manchester Orchestra.
Oh yeah, the St. Patrick's.
The coworker that was there. So we talk about music, and this is like, oh yeah, this is about that. I'm like, and so I'm now that you've said the other part where the guy's like, oh, this is about drinking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a lot of misinterpretation. And I think he was just being funny, but I didn't know the song yet. And then I went and listened to the song. I was like, it is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So what did you think it was about? Or
so what I think it's kind of fits in that more kind of folk song because it's just a bunch of verses, really.
Yeah.
And how a lot of classic folk songs are just a ton of verses. I think it tells a story like that. So it's like a very calm song, not a whole lot going on, like not a lot of heaviness. It's just like each verse around there'll be a little bit of like adding some drums or cello or a little bit of harmonies. It's a very pretty song, but I think it's about like, at first it's about him having like a panic attack about like being on tour or going on tour again, and his fear he's not that good of a performer and not good enough of a singer. I think there's a lot of like references to his voice in this song where he's just wanting more. He's wanting to have more and comparing his need to like mana, whatever.
Mana. Yeah.
And also like, he hasn't really taken time to listen to God, have any sort of like comfort while he's on the road. So it's just building more into this panic. And once he's able to have some sort of reassurance from his band that he does sound fine and he does do a good job, he's able to sleep for a moment where he has like a panic dream. And in it, he like I don't think she was pregnant at the time, but his pregnant wife is like seriously hurt in a car crash and he's praying for her to be saved. But instead he gets a vision of his daughter still being alive and she is saved. And that's where he's able to feel like peace and love again. Yeah. Is that even if he's lost his wife, he hasn't lost everything. He's able to have some peace that way.
He mentions his daughter and family quite a bit, which is interesting. And I hope that he still has a good relationship there. But
I think so. I think they're still together. And
Yeah. I think he's probably worked out all the tragedy fictitiously in the songs.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's not, because it doesn't seem like it never seems like it's a real confrontation he's had. It's always him, like his panic dream version of what could happen.
Yeah.
Is because it never comes across as being the real thing, but it does come across as a real emotion because of the panic that it caused.
Right.
So, and so which they're different because it's still a reality, but it's not. But it didn't really happen.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And that's an interesting thing that he does. And so I'm wondering if because I don't know if you've ever done, my mom used to do this. She used to say, if I could visualize every horrible thing that could happen when I was waiting for you guys to show up, then none of it would happen. Like that was the trick she told herself. I always, when I don't hear from somebody, I'm expecting to hear it just make up stories. And it didn't help that one time your mom took the Volvo we had, the old blue one, and drove to Batesburg.
Oh yeah.
And then the car wouldn't start and she couldn't get a hold of me. And I don't know what happened, but she was very upset because, and then I was like, finally I just drove down there because it had been too long. And I don't know why I don't know.
Yeah.
Just, it just took too long. And so I drove down there just because it was taking so long. And so I was picturing all these things during that. and she was very upset because it's like, how am I supposed to get home? So it was bad.
Right. Yeah.
So, but it wasn't tragic.
Right.
So at least
not too tragic.
No.
Yeah. But it's a good song. I think it's a really pretty song. It's a really fun one to play too.
Oh,
I think
bet.
Yeah. He has a lot of these like musical tendencies. Not that it'll mean a whole lot, but he likes to bend and unbend the third a lot. So just like kind of sound.
Yeah.
It's all over the place on like all their songs.
Oh.
But I think it's just a nice little sound.
You're talking about, when you talk about music stuff, it's always fun, but I've seen two things lately, and one was I think it's Charlie Puth. What's his name? Is that his name?
Charlie Puth.
Yeah. So they had this series of them playing notes, and he told them all the notes just by ear.
Yeah.
And they even did a rubber ducky sound, and he named all the notes in that.
Yeah.
So, which was funny.
Crazy.
Yeah, and he was just like right on, and it was just random, like a doorbell or whatever, and he knew all the, picked it out.
Right.
And then I saw a Jacob Collier bit where he's talking about major chords, and he goes, in nature there's only major chords.
Yeah.
And minor chords are nature chords flipped.
Right.
Major chords flipped. And then he's doing this. This is a perfect fifth, and this is a perfect third, or whatever the terms are.
Yeah.
And so when you're saying bend the thirds, and I'm like, oh, I'm close to almost understanding what you're talking about after hearing what Jacob Collier was explaining as he's playing this piano thing, and goes, if you just do this, then you get from here to here, and it circles around on itself, and you're like,
right,
okay,
he's ridiculous.
I'll believe you.
Yeah. There's this one interview with him where it's just like a bunch of college kids after some performance he'd done, but he's talking about harmony. He's like, so if you take this chord, and he's like, boom, 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 and somebody's edited the music into it, and he's like singing the notes completely perfect. Just these like dense, complex chords, and he's singing all the notes right. And he's like, you take those and you bend them in this way, where it's like boom, 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 and just on. It's ridiculous. That guy's crazy.
I think it's that bit is what I watched, not the part where they've put it in, but I watched where he's talking to them after the performance.
Yeah.
That's what the clip I saw.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it's crazy, and it's always crazy when people know it that well, but which is how I feel when I'm talking to you when we're driving around. I'm like, I'll just ask you what I think are ridiculously hard questions about a song, about the actual music or the timing or the whatever.
Yeah.
And you're just like, it's this. So yeah. Anyway,
cool.
I think you have that in you. It just, it's a different language you speak. So,
so yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about the next two songs kind of together.
Okay.
Because I think they're pretty maybe indicative, but kind of give a hint at what the next album sounds like.
Oh, okay.
I think these songs would fit very well. The next album was Simple Math that came after this, and I think they would fit very well on that album because they're a bit poppier sounding, and also in how they're kind of muting the strings and doing like the palm mute kind of fits with a lot of the songs on Simple Math.
Gotcha.
So there's My Friend Marcus, which is he's kind of like homing a friend who had like suffered abuse as a child, and how helping his friend kind of helps him find more personal meaning, like personal gratification, and like helping people.
Gotcha.
And then there's the song Tony the Tiger, which is a little vague, but I still think is enjoyable. It's maybe about like abortion or suicide or something is some interpretations. I think I tried to see what Andy had to say about it, and he's like, I've heard so many interpretations of the song, I don't even remember what the original one was. But it has the lyrics like didn't think that you would actually do it. It's kind of like the chorus of Tony the Tiger. But I do think they're fun, they're good songs, but maybe just a tad bit forgettable.
Okay.
But they're still like whenever I'm listening to this album, I kind of forget that they're there. So after I Can Feel a Hot One, I think like, okay, the next song is going to be Everything to Nothing, which is a song after this. But then there's these two in the middle.
Gotcha. Wild.
Yeah. So about Everything to Nothing. So, it's the kind of the title track, close enough. And it starts with this like little circus sounding intro. That's kind of fun, a little cheesy. But then the whole band comes in. It's this very strong, fast kind of part two to the intros.
Okay.
But I think the instrumental for this one is one of my favorites. I think the way that he uses the chords kind of fits more with what he's saying. Like they'll change around the pattern a little bit.
Yeah.
Even in the verse, there's kind of like two different patterns of chords just to like fit the story a little better. And so like the first, I think it's kind of tells a story again of like, he says finding a note in his grandfather's old coat, and reading the note, I think kind of talks about his grandpa's own personal like faith struggles, but maybe ones that were never really known by anybody else. It was just like this personal note that he wrote for himself that maybe no one was ever supposed to see.
Right. Yeah. That's tough if you find that stuff.
Yeah. But then also talking about, kind of his own religious views of like it being a crutch, like even if it's a good thing, if it was holding back his grandfather from like feeling what he wanted to feel, it's still a crutch. And then I think in the chorus is maybe you get the lyric like, you mean everything to nothing and you mean everything to nobody but me. I think is maybe how he thinks God sees us. He's like, you mean everything to nobody really, but you mean everything to me as like your creator. And
right.
Because like I know the entirety of you when people will only know small parts of you.
Right. That's interesting too.
But it's really good. It's really it's a really fun, intense song. I think it has some really good vocal performances on it. And then in the outro, you get that circus sound again, but it's even more circusy. Like they bring in like a accordion sound and almost a little cabaret-ish, but not
Right.
too far into that.
Good.
But it's a fun sound.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, this seems like one that has less lyrics
Mm-hmm.
than a lot, because a lot of the other ones are pretty lengthy.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's repeat and everything, they're pretty lengthy lyrics.
Yeah.
And this one's kind of tight on that.
Yeah.
Kind of a single idea.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, and I do think it's one of the longer songs on the album too, despite having not too many lyrics.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a good one. Definitely one of my more favorite songs on the album. But then we get to the last song, which is The River, and this is a huge song. It kind of just has one chord as the main riff. It has this melody that's going over.
Okay.
There's only major chords in the song, so it's very just like, you know, the 1, 4, and 5, which are very classic major chords. Right. Like that's what all blues is built off of. And even though it's not really a bluesy song, but you know, but I think this is where we can kind of bring back in "Come Thou Fount."
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think it's about his desire or tendency to leave his faith and like trying to find a way out of it.
Yeah.
You get the chorus like where it's "Oh God, I need it, so let me sing again. Take me to the river and let me see again. Oh my God, let me see again."
Right.
Which the way that he says "Oh my God" is like has a lot of like desperation to it. It's really powerful and really almost feels like he's exhausted, like wanting this so badly. You know, the imagery of the river is very big in a lot of songs, a lot of spiritual songs.
Right.
As like a place to cleanse yourself from, you know, sin or anything like that. Comes up a lot. Right. But then we get the third verse, which I think is most obviously like a response or reworking of a verse of "Come Thou Fount."
Yeah. It's like a direct reworking of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that grace taught a debtor, daily I'm strained to be. God, how I feel it, fetter pride to your feet.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really interesting twisting of that verse.
Mm-hmm.
because it says prone to wander, but this is, you know, it's it says this one says let thy grace now like a fetter bind my wandering heart to thee.
Mm-hmm.
And this one says fetter pride to your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting twist on changing the perception, but using the same words.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then it's the line after it, "I'm going to leave you the first chance I get."
Yeah. Yeah.
Really great in the song, how it's repeated. You add some more space between it. And this is a line that's always hit me very hard in like my own faith experience. While it wasn't necessarily God, but maybe just more the faith I was brought up in. And not as like a justification for anything, but maybe just kind of put in words like a deep feeling I had. It was like, it just always felt true despite efforts to make it not true. That there'd be one day where it's like, I'm gonna leave this someday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
and not that I don't think I still maybe like the idea of like a spiritual good force in the universe.
Yeah.
But maybe not anything more specific than that.
Well, even the hymn accounts for it in its lyrics, which is kind of interesting for how the guy that wrote it turned out, because it says prone to wander, prone to leave the God I love.
Yeah.
So that just kind of accounts for the fact that you go through those kind of things too.
Mm-hmm.
And this one kind of takes it all the way to the end of a return.
Yeah.
But the first part of it is, you know, you're a debtor and but a wandering heart, all those kind of things. And so,
right.
That's kind of accounted for in the journey. So
yeah,
interesting.
But it's a really good song. I think they did a great job with this. Even as intense as one chord can be, it just really is. It really, especially the melody that kind of acts as a chorus in a way, is really great, really powerful, and I think a great way to kind of end this whole album as this like exploration of his faith and his struggles, and regardless of having reservations or issues, he still finds a way back to being faithful every now and again.
Yeah. In all honesty, I've been having discussions about this a lot lately because Fletcher keeps coming out here.
Mm-hmm.
And both of us, I mean, he left when he was a teenager for, we were in the same church and everything at the time, but and for 1,000 different reasons, and 1,000, luckily 1,000 different reasons than what you've experienced. And I'm glad you haven't had to experience what took him away, but he still is religious and devoted and all that to, because a variety of reasons, but he still has faith, which seems unlikely in his, if you think of him as a character, that's not the first thing people would think of. But if you look at him, like, for walking down the street, he and I together, you're like, well, there's the boring guy. He's probably goes to church, but this guy can't possibly, this long hair weirdo. But he is the one that teaches me how to be better in this world, not in my own community, but in the world at large, which I think is something that a lot of people can feel very good about their community, of their particular congregation, and doing good in that.
Yeah.
But doing good in the larger world, regardless of belief, that's the harder place to be.
Yeah.
And that's what he is very good at. And what I learned from him is just serving others.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of always what we're, regardless of anything else, the message that we try and get across to you and all of the children, that is do good.
Yeah.
And not be constrained by somebody's look or somebody's circumstance, or, if you're doing good, you're not doing bad.
Yeah.
So even if the person takes that good that you're doing and does something with it that is not the intention, I gave you this money or this food or this opportunity, and I've given it to you, and you should take it and do this, but you've taken it and done this.
Right.
The importance is the giving. The importance is the charity of it. That's the importance.
Yeah.
Not what comes of it. Now, in the end, a lot of good will come of it. And that's I think in all of this is kind of what's coming across. And I can tell there's a journey here in these lyrics and all this, and it's kind of interesting. It is very Southern. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Because it's so major. And it was just, when we were in South Carolina, everybody had Wednesday night activities, regardless of what religion you were in. And
right.
When we were in Arizona, we felt like we were the only ones that had had weekly youth activities.
Yeah.
I know that's not true, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is in the South.
Right.
Like the schools would rearrange their schedules to make sure Wednesday night wasn't too busy in the South.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, anyway. I always thought it was weird first starting school in the South that they had like a Christian club at school.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, we would never have that in our school. Like, you actually have early morning meetings at the school. Like, whatever it was, it's not FCC, but something like that.
Yeah. Well, and that is hilarious. And we had the other thing was when I go to I did something that was business in the community or some outreach to have the people that were in business to communicate how to teach that to the kids at the high school or something. I don't know. I was there. They're feeding me dinner, but they prayed at the beginning of the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
But they couldn't say that they were praying because, so they said, so-and-so will return thanks. And then they still prayed.
Right.
So, and I was like, there was a lot of praying there. We'd go out to fast food and if we were with another couple, they were blessing the food before we ate it, things like that. And I'm like, this is different than where we're from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but all that to say is that regardless of the journey, make sure you're doing good.
Yeah.
I hope is what we want to hope for all people.
Yeah. I think so too. Yeah. Yeah, that's about my thoughts on the album.
Okay.
I think it's really good. I think it can maybe be seen as a little simplistic, like it's not the most in-depth music writing, but I think the lyrics do a lot to serve the album and serve the songs and have a lot going on emotionally.
Yeah.
In that way.
I have a real issue with people saying it's too simplistic because I like punk music. And so three chords and a dream.
Yeah.
That's
great.
That's the whole thing of it. It's all about your attitude, right?
Right.
And just the persona and the anger or the frustration or the, making a point. And that's so simplistic doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
So
I don't think so. It doesn't bother me either.
Yeah.
It's good.
So
it's a really, really great band. I really like what they do. It's weird. Their like most popular album, the Black Mile to the Surface, is just the one that I can't quite grasp onto, even though that's the one that everyone likes. Like even people who don't know the band, like that was like, oh, this is a great album. Even there are good songs in there. It's just one that I never come back to.
Yeah, I've tried to listen to their newer stuff and I haven't quite gotten into it yet. So I'll have to go back.
I think their the Million Masks of God one is really good. I like what that one was doing. And I think he's a good songwriter too. Like him and the guitarist from this band did the soundtrack for Swiss Army Man.
Oh,
which
really?
by the Daniels.
Yeah. So wild.
Kind of a fun thing for them and fun exposure in a way. Especially because like I think that's one of the only films like the Daniels did that film and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Really? Yeah. That's wild. Yeah, they're both kooky.
Yeah.
Well, very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for bringing it up and probably getting lends itself to some deep conversation that may or may not want to get into, but it's there.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I didn't realize how prevalent that kind of the religious undertones were, but it does make sense. There's a lot of that around in that area, so it's cool. It's cool. But thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. Good. It was a good time.
And I think I have a lot to do this week to be ready for next week.
Oh,
so.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think I might not be quite as intense as some of the other weeks or some of the other reviews, though.
Yeah.
So with maybe no full books, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Well, thanks to everyone listening. You've been listening to like Pigs in Space, an arts and culture podcast. This has been Aaron Mason.
And I'm Max Mason.
And thanks for listening.
Bye.